King Charles snubs Meghan Markle's new Netflix show as he makes poignant visit. King Charles made a new appearance today just hours after Meghan Markle's new show was released worldwide. King Charles stepped out in his uniform today just hours after Meghan Markle's new show on Netflix was launched. His Majesty, in his role as Commodore-in-Chief of Aircraft Carriers, visited HMS Prince of Wales at sea. The Royal Navy flagship will set sail on Operation Highmast in April. It is one of the most powerful surface warships ever constructed in the UK and forms part of the Royal Navy's two-strong fleet of Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers. During his visit, the King met the ship's company members during the final stages of their pre-deployment training in the Channel. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. King Charles makes touching toast as he pulls himself a pint and knocks back strong spirit. King Charles could not resist sampling the local beer and a supercharged spirit made with hops during a visit to the home of British brewing. His Majesty was in Burton-upon-Trent today to visit Tower Brewery, a small, family-run business that has been based in the local area for 24 years. The King pulled a pint of Gone for a Burton, a traditional mid-strength beer that is one of the brewery's popular special brands. Owner John Mills, who joined the monarch behind the small bar, said, "Are you going to have a slurp of that, sir?" The King chuckled, noting that if not, he was in the wrong place. Holding up his glass, he said, "To your very good health," before taking a sip. "Are you selling this all over the place?" he asked. Mr. Mills then told the King about a 41% proof liquor he had created with a colleague called the Spirit of Burton, explaining that it could not be called a whiskey as it is not matured but was a distilled version of one of his strong IPAs. The King sniffed the clear liquid before taking a sip. Interesting, he said, with a laugh, adding, "Yes, it's supercharged." The King then stood on a small platform to watch Mr. Mills open the brewing steam hatch, which demonstrates the gravity-fed brewing process. Aided by the height of the tower, it uses gravity to feed the grist case and supply the water pressure. The King was given a potted history of the town's brewing background from Dr. Harry White, chair of the National Brewing Centre in Burton. "I'm learning fast," he said, before telling an aide who tried to move him along, "I'm having a fascinating history lesson." Dr. White told the monarch how India Pale Ale had become synonymous with Burton after the first beers were shipped from the town to India in 1822. The King asked if IPA was still made locally, but was told that the term IPA was now overused. Charles was given a bottle of the Spirit of Burton to take home, as well as several bottles of IPA and a bottle of 1902 King's Ale, which was brewed by the newly crowned Edward VII in 1902 during a visit to the base brewery. Earlier, the King also helped out on the JCB production line as he wished many happy returns for the firm's 80th birthday. Charles, 76, was given a tour of JCB World Headquarters in Staffordshire by billionaire chairman Lord Bamford. He helped fit a wheel with team leader Becky Bayliss, 32, who said his effort was perfect. Charles later also helped fill up a new JCB backhoe loader with hydrogen. And he also greeted 100-year-old Ken Harrison, who worked on the original factory floor when it opened in 1945. Around 3,500 staff, almost the entire workforce, lined up outside waving Union flags to cheer the King as he departed. Lord Bamford then delivered a speech in front of JCB's 1 millionth backhoe loader. Speaking afterwards, Becky said, he was a little unsure if he managed to get the nut all the way up, but the way he handled it was perfect. Charles toured the vast warehouse set in 175 acres, shaking hands with staff and apprentices. He also viewed JCB's new combustion engine fueled by hydrogen and said, and it takes 3 or 4 minutes to fill up. The king also got to meet students and graduates including Reese Bradbury, 29, who he saw in 2011, who is now JCB Sales Operations Manager for Scandinavia. More than 3,500 students have graduated since it was opened and currently has 1,000 pupils and 250 apprentices. Meanwhile, meeting centenarian Ken, who worked for JCB for 36 years, he said, "Are you sure you should be here today? I'm very impressed. Are you still taking part in games and sports?" The king asked Henson, who was made an MBE for his services to the military in 2014 and earned a PhD in amputee biomechanics from Imperial College London in 2020. "It must have done some good, I must say, to get to 100. Fantastic. And able to get about still. Good. It's quite a place here." Charles added, "I hope you got your message on your 100th birthday. I'm so glad the system works." Standing in front of JCB's 1 millionth backhoe digger, Lord Bamford gave a speech to king and staff gathered in the reception. He said, "I was most pleased for you to see the progress we have made in the development in hydrogen internal combustion engines. We see an enormous emission-free future in these engines both in machinery but also trucks, buses, and possibly even in cars." Showing King the 1 millionth backhoe loader, he said was invented by his father in 1953. And he added, "Before that most trenches were dug by humans with shovels. What an increase in productivity this machine has brought to the world, and also how many bad backs there haven't been as well." Charles turned to Lord Bamford and said, "Many happy returns for the 80th. Outside, the entire JCB World Headquarters staff lined up to cheer the king on his way. They included Annette Allerton, whose mother used to work in the canteen, who attracted Charles to her 2 Shih Tzu dogs Lottie, 8, and 10-year-old Bindy. On February 19th, the king met Dr. Dave Henson during a visit to the Centre for Injury Studies at Imperial College London, where they spoke about the power of sport to help heal. King Charles, 76, made the stop to highlight the UK's support for injured service personnel in Ukraine amid the Russian invasion ahead of the 3rd anniversary of the conflict next week. The palace did confirm earlier this year that the king does not have prostate cancer. The move harkens back to the king's decision to share news of his surgery to correct an enlarged prostate before the procedure happened in January. After the January surgery to correct the benign enlarged prostate, cancer was detected, and the king announced on February 5 that he was beginning treatment for the still undisclosed type of cancer. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.